Hello, Liz. It's good to see you. It's been a while since we have met. How have you been?
Olinka, it's great to see you. I've been good, just a bit busy with work, but everything is going well. I was going to treat myself to a short break last week, but something came up. How about you? How everything going?
I'm good too, just trying to keep up with everything. By the way, have you noticed how big the healthy food trends is in Peru lately? It seems like everywhere you go, people are talking about quinoa, chia seeds, and other superfoods. Even traditional dishes are being modernized with these ingredients.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that. I think it's great that people are becoming more conscious about what they eat. For example, there are so many gluten-free or vegan options now, which weren't common before. People want healthier, more natural foods. What do you think about it?
I agree. It's a good trend, especially just because we have so many amazing nutritious ingredients in Peru, like quinoa and kiwicha. But sometimes I feel like the trend is being overhyped. Some restaurants share too much just because they label dishes as healthy, and it's really just a marketing trick.
I couldn't agree more with you. Some places definitely use the trend to charge more. But it works because a lot of people, especially young professionals and those into fitness, are willing to pay for it. It's almost like a status symbol now to eat at trendy healthy food spots.
That's a good point, but I think some of these places rely too much on their brand and image rather than the actual quality of their food. I prefer restaurants that stay authentic and focus more on flavor than following the latest trend.
Oh, do you actually trust food trends and ads? I mean, do you think they are reliable?
Not always. Some trends are great when they encourage healthier habits, but others are just fads. Ads and commercial make everything look perfect, but when you try the product, it's often disappointing. Have you ever fallen for one of these ads?
Yes, I've definitely fallen for ads before. They make the food look amazing, but when you finally try it, it's not all what you expected. Now, I try not to depend too much on ads unless it's something I am genuinely interested in.
I feel the same. Speaking of food, what's your favorite dish when you eat out? Do you think the food in restaurants is worth the price these days?
Well, I love lomo saltado. It's my favorite Peruvian dish, and usually it's worth the price. But I've noticed some restaurants are becoming way too expensive. The quality is good, but sometimes you end up paying more because the place is trendy rather than because the food is better. What about you?
I'm a big fan of ceviche. It could eat every day. Most places serve it well, but I agree, some restaurants are overpriced. It really depends on the place, and I prefer smaller spots that serve traditional food at reasonable prices. They usually offer the best value.
Exactly. I had a bad experience at a fancy restaurant last month. Everyone was talking about how great it was, so I went, but the food was just average, and I paid way too much. I was expecting something incredible. Have you had any good or bad experience recently?
Actually, yes. Last weekend, I went to a small local restaurant, and the food was incredible. It wasn't expensive at all, and the flavors were amazing. They had this homemade ají de gallina that remind me of how my grandma used to make it. I really think you'd enjoy it if you are into traditional food with a homemade touch.
That sounds great. It's always a nice surprise when you find a place like that. I think that's why I don't fully trust food trends. Sometimes the simple, well-made dishes are the best.
Exactly. Trends come and go, but good food is timeless. It's better to focus on that.
Totally agree with you. Speaking of food, do you feel like grabbing something to eat now? I am getting hungry after all this talk.
Yes, perfect. Let's go. I'm sure we'll come up with something delicious.